Hi, and welcome to another Light Reading Telecom Innovator video, where we are introducing you to some of the people and companies that are moving the global communications industry forward. We have a really interesting company to talk about today. My name is Phil Harvey. I'm an editor here at Light Reading, and I'm joined on this interview today by Parag Naik, the CEO of Saankya Labs. Hi, Parag. How are you?
Good, Phil. Thanks and appreciate your time. Pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
What is your view of the market, beyond 5G, and where do you see your company fitting in?
We are looking at the inside-out view, where we are looking at it from the perspective of the network. So, to me personally, and to us at Saankya, 6G is if 5G was about virtualization of the and disaggregation of the infrastructure. 6G would be the disaggregation and the virtualization of the handset itself. And
Okay.
and the other definition of 6G we see is it's 5G plus ML, machine learning and AI,
Machine learning.
at the
Yeah.
edge would be 6G. Virtualization
Okay.
of
Yeah.
the
That.
modem. When I say virtualization, I speak from Sankya's perspective. It's always the RAN and the modems on the consumer device.
Right. Yeah.
So the other view of 6G that we have is basically, the 3GPP itself can get into the cloud, right? So if you look at it, the virtualization that we are speaking about today are virtualization of the implementation. We are also talking about what's called the virtualization of the interface, so that the network designs a new waveform. So eventually, after 6G, if you get it right, you don't have to have a 7G. The network itself will decide to drop to 4G, or it can design an 8G on its own. Through a framework then that gets defined by this body. In the case of the radio access networks and wireless networks, we did not follow that approach, and that has so far resulted in a very strong coupling between the hardware and the standards. So if we decouple that and virtualize the interface, then any device that enters a network can actually be programmed by the network, based on a whole bunch of capabilities that it has, and based on a cost function that the network administrator and the user decide to negotiate on or want to optimize on.
Wow, that's a lot. So let me let me let me let me get that my head around that. So that basically frees us up to then, instead of being tied everything tethered to a phone, that really would unlock a true Internet of Things, because then you could simply ask the network for connectivity and for capability
Exactly.
whenever you needed to, as long as your device had the right software and capabilities inside of it.
Yeah, so the device doesn't have the right software. It has in our parlance a virtual machine. The software
Right.
gets downloaded from the network. The network
Okay.
decides, and that makes it more secure also, by the way. That's a second order benefit of that, because there's a whole lot of security that can be built in at the lowest physical layer, that makes your whole network more secure. These are basically bringing in cognition into the network. So today's networks are not cognitive. These are self-aware cognitive networks.
Yeah, and that was going to answer my next question, which I was going to kind of end with talking about AI. And this sounds like this is where artificial intelligence also comes into play. Is that how you see this sort of the network making these decisions and deciding,
Yes,
kind of how to enable devices?
absolutely. The network senses the environment, adapts to the environment based on a bunch of policies or cost functions that the network administrator decides to optimize on. So that's where the network would be eventually. So this is the post 5G world, right? Or 6G. Yeah.